We only have one shot at this guy. Okay, a little left. Okay, now factor in the spin. No. God damn it, man. Okay, what direction are we? East, west, north, south, northeast? Factor in everything. We need to know exactly the direction, the spin of the earth, and how to, you know.
According to the globe, the Coriolis is 0.
I mean, I just still don't understand why you guys are talking about stuff not drifting, given that you think you're globe believers. You're not. You definitely don't believe what the globe peddles, and you don't even understand what the globe peddles. It says Coriolis effect. You just don't believe it, do you, lads? The globe claims to have Coriolis effect. That is a fact, not what I claim the globe has.
Okay, so let me rephrase my statement. According to the globe claim, if I am standing on the Earth at the equator, and I jump up, the Earth now spins underneath me at 1,000 miles an hour.
Isn't it ridiculous how stupid the claim of Coriolis effect is? Don't you agree how stupid it is to assert that you can see things drift at 15 degrees an hour because Earth turns beneath them? It's absolutely absurd, Extremesis. I'm glad you agree.
But that's not what the globe claims.
Sorry, the globe claims Coriolis effect. That's Earth turning beneath an inertial reference frame to observe 15 degrees an hour drift as you turn beneath things.
What the globe claims is, if you're standing on the equator, on the Earth, and you jump up, you will now both be moving at 1,000 miles an hour.
That's not Coriolis effect. Coriolis is a deflection observed from a turning reference frame. So if they're both moving 1,000 miles an hour, nothing's drifting. That's not Coriolis effect. Extremesis, you don't understand what Coriolis effect is. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. Extremesis, you don't know what Coriolis effect is. Because if they're both moving at the same rate, neither are drifting at 15 degrees an hour. Drifting means moving apart. 15 degrees an hour is the rate that they move apart on a claim from a globe. Have you ever heard that term, 15 degrees an hour? Yeah? That's the rate they're supposed to drift apart. I haven't finished talking, Extremesis. The rate that's claimed by the globe that your man will drift away from you as you observe him jumping up and down, that rate of drift, not them staying together at the same speed, drifting apart at 15 degrees an hour, that's him jumping and the Earth moving beneath him at 15 degrees an hour. That's what Coriolis is, Extremesis. It isn't them jumping and moving at the same rate. Please step out of this conversation because you don't know what drift is. It means drifting apart.
I do actually want to answer that. Nathan, at the equator, according to the globe, the Coriolis is no Coriolis on the globe at the equator. It is 0.
Sorry, according to the globe, there's 0 Coriolis effect.
Yes.
Sorry, that's absurd, given that the globe claims there is a Coriolis effect.
Only above...
Sorry, you haven't addressed what I've just said. The globe does definitely claim Coriolis effect. You've said it claims 0 effect at a particular location.
Would you like me to show you a source that says it is 0 at the equator?
No, because Coriolis drift is deflection. So if you're going to say the globe claims Coriolis is 0, then that's not drift. Meanwhile, if there's any drift at all ever, Earth is turning beneath stuff, and it isn't.
The Coriolis is 0 at the equator.
Sorry, Coriolis is drift. So it's absurd and a contradiction in terms to say the Coriolis is 0. Because then that's 0 Coriolis and the globe claims there is Coriolis effect. It's an effect claimed to occur.
What do you think that means, Nathan?
It means that Earth's turning beneath stuff as a non-inertial turning reference frame. And from that non-inertial claim to be turning reference frame of sphere Earth, it's claimed that you, on the non-inertial turning reference frame, will observe not actual deflection of items in the inertial reference frame, not attached to the spinning reference frame. That's what Coriolis effect is. For example, it's claimed that the stars move because Earth turns beneath them. That is Coriolis effect, not actual movement of the stars because it's claimed Earth turns beneath them. The rate of that deflection, also known as Coriolis effect, is 15 degrees an hour. The rate that Earth turns beneath the stars, and the rate that Earth is claimed to turn beneath pendulums and gyros and footballs and bullets. So I assure you, it's not a man goes up and stays at the same presupposed spinning rate that he's not shedding, but simultaneously might lose it at a certain rate, extremis, because those two things also contradict one another. It's claimed you'll observe 15 degrees an hour drift because Earth turns beneath stuff not attached. That's what it is. It just doesn't happen. Because if it did, Earth would be turning beneath aeroplanes shortening their flight times when travelling west. And a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles with an assist of an 800-mile-an-hour Earth turning beneath it would only take an hour and a half, not 4.5 hours. But you seem to think that the description of Earth turning beneath footballs, and Earth turning beneath bullets, and Earth turning beneath pendulums, and Earth turning beneath gyroscopes, and Earth turning beneath the stars is actually the stars and pendulums and bullets and footballs moving at the same rate as Earth. Because that definitely isn't the globe claim that they're drifting apart 15 degrees an hour, extremists. You just don't know what the globe claims. The globe claims that Earth turns beneath stuff. Of course, that would shorten flight times. You just don't understand what Coriolis is and want to get me a citation for how there's 0 of the 15 degrees an hour drift globes claim to have at the equator. You just don't understand this stuff, extremists.
So, can I talk now? Okay, I'm going to take your silence as I can talk. When I asked what does it mean, my question, I should have asked the full question. What does it mean if the globe claim says that there is 0 Coriolis at the equator, and you say the globe says there should be Coriolis at the equator?
I ask you. Okay, am I allowed to respond? Goes high pitched as you. Sorry, you're going to ask me what 0 effect means for the globe? Well, that was my original question, wasn't it, extremists, when I first stepped in? What does this prove exactly if there's 0 effect to observe? Did you not all make it clear to me when I first entered this conversation that that doesn't prove anything to do with the globe? So I would ask you, if this citation says there's no effect to prove globe spinning, why is it a useful citation, extremists, if it doesn't prove anything, as we established when I first entered this conversation? Why would you show it me? It doesn't prove we're spinning, does it? Does it prove that you can assume things that are spinning retain their velocity and don't have any effect to prove we're spinning? I.e., there's no effect to observe. Is that what it proves, that there's no effect to observe, extremists? Because obviously if it's not proving anything as we established when I got here, it seems like a bit of a useless citation, given that I already established that if there's no effect to observe, it's not proving anything. So may I ask why you want to show it me, given it doesn't prove we spin? Why would you want to show me that, given that it's not 15 degrees an hour drift? Why would you want to show it me when the globe claims we do have 15 degrees an hour drift? And why would you show it me, as repeated now, I already established this doesn't prove your point. In fact, it goes against it. The whole reason I'm here trying to educate you, extremists, is because you saying that there's no effect flies in the face of the 15 degrees an hour that there's claimed to be.
Okay, so the globe claim is that there's no Coriolis at the equator.
No, the globe claims Coriolis effect at 15 degrees an hour. Remember? Thanks, Bob, for proving that there is a 15 degrees an hour drift because Earth turned under the gyro. You seem to be, again, like the other guy, going against the globe claim. I thought you were a globe believer. You're contradicting the globe claim that there is drift. You remember the gyro, 15 degrees an hour of it? You seem to be saying, no, there's no effect to observe again. And asking me about why there's no effect to prove we spin? Why would you be going against the globe claim that there's drift at 15 degrees an hour, extremists? Don't you believe in the globe? and its claims of 15 degrees an hour drift? Why are you explaining why there isn't any when the globe claims there is? I mean, I just still don't understand why you guys are talking about stuff not drifting, given that you think you're globe believers. You're not. You definitely don't believe what the globe peddles, and you don't even understand what the globe peddles. It says Coriolis effect. You just don't believe it, do you, lads? You think stuff doesn't drift, right? Zero at the equator. I mean, obviously you'll lie about it later when the stars aren't moving as a result of that stupid nonsense. Won't you, Extremistus? You'll just lie.
No.
So, is there zero drift at the equator, like you were asking me to explain in your citation, or are the stars moving at 15 degrees an hour? That's Coriolis effect, something you've just claimed it isn't.
Entertaining listening.
Both.
Yeah, that's a very concise rebuttal. Thank you, Extremistus. Are you done here?
Zero drift at the equator.
So the stars aren't moving then?
You didn't let me. Zero drift.
So that means the stars aren't moving then? Because that's the 15 degrees an hour drift. The stars moving. If there's zero at the equator, then according to you, the stars aren't moving. You're claiming zero again after denying that that's what you were claiming. So you've lied about claiming it when I point out the stars would be stationary. Now you've moved back on to claiming it again, asking me about the zero drift on the equator. The stars would have stopped, Extremistus, if there's no drift at the equator. Globe Earth's claim to turn beneath them to cause a Coriolis deflection of the stars at 15 degrees an hour. Now, if you don't understand that that is Coriolis in the globe claim, and now that would shorten flight times, if we're turning underneath the stars and gyros and pendulums and bullets and balls, yeah, that'll shorten flight times. That's why you want to tell me all about how it ain't happening. Of course, the globe claims it is, Extremistus.
The globe claims zero Coriolis.
No, it claims the Earth's turning underneath the stars to cause a 15 degrees an hour deflection in them. Like the globe claims, then Earth's turning beneath things. And that would shorten flight times, an effect we don't observe happening. That's why you are denying the globe claim, because if it happened, we'd notice. And we don't, so you deny it. You're not a globe believer, Extremistus. I want to make that absolutely clear to you. You don't believe what the globe believes. That's drift. You'll not only deny that there's drift, you'll also simultaneously claim there's Coriolis at zero, a contradiction in terms, and then tell me, like the arrogance that you are, that I don't understand this stuff. Yeah, I do.
You and your reference frames have been ruined.